Another beautiful day in which we can come and be before you all. Jeff, you want to say what's up to the people at this 7 o'clock hour?
Do people, what's up? It's your boy Jeff, and welcome. This is the Big Daddy Energy Podcast. This is where we talk about all things related to mankind, manliness. Oh, what's up, huh?
Everything's good, man. I felt that it was necessary for us to talk to the people because we kind of left them at a cliffhanger. We're talking about all this Hebrew stuff for like I don't know
Yeah.
3 years or so, 2 3 years, and then get some guys to kind of start talking about maybe we're Hebrews, and I guess we gotta finish.
They tried to play us, but we made the game. Offend these haters, turn their shade to shame.
Believe you me.
Stick with the name that pays. Big Daddy everything.
And they thought I was dumb to rap, but how dumb is that when I'm the running back? Go punch you in front of you at eye level, see if you gon' stomach that. It's food for thought, but we don't feed them hoes, we don't need them hoes. Eloquent, Big Daddy elephants, just in their element. Intelligence, telling men something they can tell a friend. And
I was back here jamming, man.
Slaps. Song slappers.
Hey, telling men something they can tell a friend, man. And then, of course, we have some lady folk
Yep.
also tune in with us. Hello, ladies. Jeff, you know what a lady is actually?
Yes, a lady is a person with two legs and also two breasts.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, what is okay. It's a nice one, a nice breasted person. Not just a regular breasted person, a nice one.
A lady is actually a type of rank, brother. Is what it
Okay.
is. Yeah, a lady is not just. Yeah, it's not just a nice woman.
Oh, okay. Is it like up there with Lord, like Lady and Lord?
There you go.
It makes sense. Fictional characters, lady so and so.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So when they say ladies and gentlemen, of course they will always say ladies first because that's what they believe. Ladies first. Ladies first.
Yeah.
But lady doesn't just mean female.
Okay.
All right?
It's prestige.
That's right. Same thing with a gentleman. It wasn't just that's a guy over there.
A nice guy.
It's not just a nice guy. Not just a guy with manners.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I have respect for the ladies, well the female persons that's on here.
Mhm.
That's why I called y'all ladies.
Yep, I do too.
So we don't take y'all for granted. All right. So let's check this out. Would y'all believe me if I told you this man somehow tricked me into meeting him where the nuns are?
Yes. Yes, we would believe you.
They weren't around when she did go by. She was been waiting to say that, by the way. I can tell by she didn't even end it with punctuation.
It was up before the 3 minute and 30-second mark. So
Yeah. They weren't there when she did come by there, but a little bit later, I think maybe 2 days after that. See how she wasn't waiting to see that punctuation right there after that last hop. And I saw she was out there. One of the ladies was out there, brother.
okay.
And I was driving. I'm driving an 18-wheeler. I'm not gonna take a photo, but also she was wearing a jacket.
Okay, yeah.
A
It's
coat.
cold.
Yeah,
Coat,
I don't want to take pictures of her in a coat.
Yeah.
It's not the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just out here looking all warm and responsible.
You see what I'm saying? Good evening, guys, and Ray Torrey Hogan's.
Good evening, Manny.
I believe in you. Thanks, Manny. Believe in us.
We also believe in us. Thank you.
For sure.
The chat, the message covers up that M to where it does look like an N right there.
Right.
You actually weren't wrong there.
Hi, Manny. Saeed. All right. So obviously we're talking about something serious today because we came in joking.
Yeah.
And in a light mood. So
Oh, okay. Chief.
she put one F, but there's
One
some
F.
emphasis on that F.
Yeah, that's the Chief right there.
It's good stuff.
Yep.
It's cool. So recently a lot has come out about some things that Ye said, some things that Kyrie said, Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, known as Ye now, about the black people being Jews. That has very serious implications, and what a topic that is.
Yeah.
Now, of course, everybody that's on this platform is not going to be taken aback by that because stuff that Jeff has said from his mouth and I've said from mine, and stuff we've been talking about for quite some time. That not only black people, but also the so-called Hispanic and Latinos and Native Americans, all tribes of the children of Israel. I mean, we literally been talking about it for half a decade.
Yeah, I think we started before Kanye married Kim, actually.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right about that. And so we don't say that to say, see, we told you, we knew first. Haha. No, because that would be really immature of us.
Mm-hmm.
But more so to say, hey, the rest of the world is catching up. The rest of the world is catching up, and we've got work to do. Just as a people. Just as a people. When I say as a people, I don't mean just black people. I know Manny, Saeed, you I don't know. I know they want you to identify as white, but I know that you're not white because I can see you. You're not white. The pictures that I see of your sister and your mom, y'all aren't white. And the way that your both of your bodies are shaped, probably not white. Am I black? Good question. So we'll do it like this. I personally, I would suggest, since you're from the area and your family just never left, I would suggest probably closer to like Jeff's family, the Samaritan. So if you look in the scriptures and you see the area that y'all are from, where y'all are literally from, that same area is close to Samaria, where the Samaritans would be coming from. So because I see the features of what somebody would call Ethiopian or stuff like that, I can see it. I know that excuse me. And what like 60 years ago, 60, 70 years ago, yeah, they would call you black in America. Yes. Because if you have just an eighth of your percentage being like so-called black, they would just call you black. Oh, you're black.
Yeah.
Black. But it's hard to identify especially nowadays as a black person. If it matter of fact, they make it hard for me to identify as a black person because I'm not an ADOS, which is African descendant of slavery, or I'm also not a FBA, which is Foundational Black American. So because I'm Nigerian, sometimes I'm not I cannot, I'm not always identified the same way. You can say
Now,
African American.
Are these like legal designations?
No, they're not.
The census?
No, they're not. It's not legal. These are just separations, and I'm tired of us being separated, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody might look at me and say, "Yeah, but you don't really understand."
Right.
And then people that's from the South, they can tell somebody that's in Chicago, "Yeah, but you just don't understand."
Right.
And then somebody from Texas talking to somebody that's from Alabama, the person from Alabama will say to Texans, "Yeah, but y'all don't understand.
Right.
We're from the real South. And you're from Texas." You see all these separations, and then somebody from Louisiana will say, "Yeah, but y'all really don't understand."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I say. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's complicated. It is complicated, and I'm fed up with it because it's all divisive. We just divide ourselves. Divide. You got light-skinned people, you got dark-skinned people, you got people with so-called good hair. Let me tell you what good hair is. Good hair is healthy hair.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's very, very curly, if it's kind of curly, doesn't matter if it's wavy. If your hair is healthy, it's good hair. Brother, where is Raytoria Hogan's from? Raytoria is from Missouri. Well, no, she's from Illinois, but East St. Louis, not Missouri, but East St. Louis, Illinois. Is she Nigerian too? No, I'm sure if she did a DNA and all that, there would be Nigerian there, but no, she's just from here. Yeah.
You were going to finish the thought. I wanted to address the complicated part, but I'll wait.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying.
Okay. All right. So it is complicated, but it's only complicated because there are a few different things that need to be addressed to address the main problem. Right. The main problem is that there is one group of people that has been separated into many groups and relabeled. Right. And that relabeling was a reissuing of language and religion. Now, to say that, like, I'll give you a good example. I saw a comment on something that Ye was saying about. He said that that black people are the real Jews. I think, right? Something like that in one of his videos, and it was one of the votes. And one of the guys said, "So all the pictures I saw of the Jews in the Holocaust, because they were in black and white, I can't tell that those are black people actually."
Oh man!
And when I saw on the surface, it's like, obviously no, right? Like those are obviously not black people, right? But when you think about what he's hearing somebody say that black and Hispanic people, what we call black and Hispanic, are the real Jews. And what he knows of the Jews are these people, and these are photos of these Jews. And to actually get to the real issue, you'd have to look at it and say, well, okay, those are called the Jews. And he's not saying that black and Hispanic people are what we call the Jews. It's the Hebrew ancestry from the Bible. You trace them. These other Jews came from somewhere else, and that's what he's saying. And so it seems complicated, right? It's another example is when you hear flat Earth people argue their case, you hear someone say, well, so we're the only flat surface, the rest of the planets are balls floating in space, right? And it's like, well, no, if we're a flat surface, there are no other planets floating in space.
That's right.
Planets. You see what I'm saying? So they what they'll try to do is use what they consider to be proof somewhere else to disprove the core of the issue. And so it does seem complicated because we've been relabeled, reorganized in a way where we don't know who we are. But you have things like race. Race is made up, right? So if you're trying to figure out this idea with the idea of race, well, race is made up.
Yeah.
So you can't take this made up idea and try to bring it here and say, well, what race are these people? What race is a made up idea? It's a made up way of organizing people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then ethnicity doesn't determine authenticity. That's another thing, is ethnicity does not determine it. You can grow up in a place and ethnically become this group of people, but your lineage was not this group of people. And so you can't go off of ethnicity. You can't say, well, ethnically speaking, this is who I am, because all ethnicity is religion, language, culture, customs, region, geography. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even use ethnicity, right? You have Spaniards that are ethnically Mexican. They're Mexican citizens, but when you look at their lineage, they're from Spain. So you have to kind of deal with all the outside problems to get to the core. That's all I wanted to say, brother.
No, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. We have also made it a little harder to see with our eyes because we've intermingled with the other nations. Yeah. Jeff, I didn't share with you, but if you watched Convocation, you would have been able to find it or see it. But there's in the Talmud, for Jewish study, with the Jewish people study, there is a thing called a midrash. Midrash is where the Jewish rabbis over time kind of speak on things that's in the Torah, and it gets recorded because it's almost like oral tradition. But now let's go ahead and write it down because it sounds important.
Right.
All right. In the midrash, the rabbi is named Eliezer, whatever, however you say his name. Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer. He says that Shem was especially blessed to be dark and comely. So to be dark and very good looking. That's Shem. Then it says Ham was blessed to be black like the raven. So that's how dark he was. And his children, and it showed what kind of land they got. They got land off the coast. Shem got land of the habitable part of the earth. That's what it says. And then Japheth, he was blessed to be white, and his children. But this is what they study. He was white all over. That's what he was. And so if you take that and you say, okay, so let's look at how we look. Why does everybody look these ways that we look? Shem was not very, very dark. Shem wasn't very, very dark. Ham was very dark. So that all the variations that you can see that's brown, you're considered brown. Manny's considered brown. Ray Torres is considered brown. I'm considered brown. So a lot of browns. And then when you go, and especially, brother, this is happening in Argentina and just Colombia, where they want to try to mix out the melanin.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that? That they try to breed out all dark skin.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, it's kind of all over Central America now. Not all over, but it's
why is that, brother? Why do they want to do that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I even saw in Jamaica there's young girls that are bleaching their skin.
Is it? Did you see at any point, brother, growing up, where a darker person from the same ethnicity was treated as a slave or poor or looked down upon?
By their own people?
Yeah, the same. Yeah, the same.
No, I've never. No.
Oh, that doesn't happen in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I guess so. Not as a slave, but I guess yeah, in some parts, people do look down on the darker. I guess.
Because that's why you would. That's what you would try to do. Breed out. Okay, yeah. So what would happen is, as much as they possibly can, they would make it very difficult for somebody that's my skin tone, even if we lived in the same country, my skin tone, to be with somebody that's like your skin tone, Manny. They would talk to you and say, no, you need to marry somebody that's lighter. So at some point we won't see the dark skin anymore. So keep going lighter and lighter. They didn't care. They're not telling you, oh, marry a white man, because that wasn't their friend. That wasn't necessarily their friend either.
Yeah, so you'd have to get with me, Manny, unfortunately. So
you would have to go with Jeff.
I mean, I got you. I'll take care of you. No. Yeah. No, I've seen that, brother. I've seen that a lot.
I know it's in Argentina, and I know it's in Chile. I know it's out there. That's what they would rather have. I know the Sicilians, because they were treated so badly for being dark, they wanted to be lighter and lighter and lighter, brother. I'm saying. I know in China and India, they don't, you know what I'm saying? You're not, no, we don't want you here. You stay back over there. Everybody that's on TV, you must look like this. And
so, brother, let me ask you this: why is that all over the world? Why is to be lighter, have a lighter complexion? Why is it deemed as more valuable or more fair? Because they call it fair. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah, fair
looking, more attractive.
Yeah, only because there's one reason, and only one reason. It's because of the people that started to write. The people that started to write. There was always books, there was always writing, but the ones who started to write and put it everywhere and use photos to, when they publish something, they would use photos to do it.
Yeah, okay.
That's where it all the what they call the printing press.
Yeah, printing press. Yeah.
That's what did it, brother. So they tell you what history looks like, and they tell you, oh, history is white history. So-called white. It's white history, brother. You know what I'm saying? And so once they find out that all the people that were so-called dark, that were dark, were bad. Everybody darker than us is bad. Matter of fact, if you want to know who's the bad guy, just look at the dark one.
Yeah.
Read our stories and look at the dark.
That's wild, man. Yeah.
Who's darker, us or them? So
yeah, that's
they're
interesting.
the good guys and they're the bad guys. And it's been like that, especially since the Renaissance, which is called the rebirth. That's how you translate Renaissance. It just means rebirth.
Yeah.
And that was a very, very, very effective tactic, brother. Putting up paintings and that's why designers, where do they come out of? Rome. Italian designers.
Yeah, that's the fashion, and that's the center of fashion and
the
pop
reason,
culture and all that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The reason why is because they're the ones who put scholarship and money behind art. Because what does anybody care if something is drawn?
Yeah, my wife gets on me for wearing white after Labor Day, and I tell her that the earth wears white after Labor Day. What are you talking about? The ground is white in the winter. Why is it a problem to wear white after Labor Day? Who came up with that crap?
Yeah, that's right. There's bunnies. Look at those bunnies.
Look, they turn white in the winter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
So there's things that don't make sense, but it all comes from the Renaissance.
Yeah.
It's things like fashion and art, paintings, and all these things. It all comes from the rebirth. Anyhow, since we are one people. I'll do it like this. If you think about all the ones who have been mistreated without any help, you're probably a part of the true Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah.
So if you think about your people and say, "Man, my people are really getting the raw, what they call it, really getting shafted, really getting the
Raw end of the stick.
raw end of the stick." If you can just think and just think about it, how long has it been like that? And if it's as long as you can remember, or as far back as you can research, then your people we're all the same people.
Yeah.
We're all the same people. Because God has not turned back to smile at us yet. Okay. And so, but we're coming out of it. We're coming out of it. That's the good news. Hey, when Christ came down, he was speaking a message, the gospel. And gospel means good news, good message, besora. The message, some people, Jeff, what is the gospel? Isn't it that Christ hung, bled, and died for my sins?
Yeah, that's what I always heard. Well,
Okay.
but he brought it before he did that. He was teaching the gospel before he did that.
Right. Do you believe in Pangea? Thank you.
Good one.
That I like that restaurant. It's kind of got like I guess it's like a Eastern, like Far Eastern.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They give you good serving sizes. Bread is really good bread, right? That's what they do is bread.
I never had their bread, but the noodles.
Yeah, gotcha. I think they'll do well. I believe in them.
I appreciate you, brother. You picked that right up.
Yeah.
Pangea is in the scriptures. It's not written like that. It's not written
Right.
Pangea. But if you read in Genesis, Seth had a son, and
yeah, there's a key name that you need to look for.
Peleg. Is it Peleg?
Peleg, yeah, Peleg.
Yeah,
and it only comes up twice, and it's in one of them. It says Peleg.
Yeah, she knows. Yeah, of course. Anything that's in the scriptures, I believe. Yeah, the earth was all connected, and then
yeah, it says something like in his days, that's when the earth was broken apart or split or something like that.
Yep, that's it. Yep. Peleg. Yeah, nah. It's sad, Jeff, because if we just said, "Hey, we all come from Noah," then we would all just be one people. You know, when Ye's talking about us being one race, and Kyrie saying we're all one race of people, brother, Noah is the guy that we all go back to.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes down to like his 3 sons.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it does. But in the scriptures, it does say that they will be separated by their languages and their, and so we've been separated since then. But it's only 3 families: either the Hamites, the Shemites, or the. I don't know. You want to take a crack at it, brother?
Oh, you got Hamites and Shemites, and then the Japhethians.
The Japhites.
The Japhites, Japhethites.
And that's it. Those are the 3 families. Now, the Japhites are the Gentiles. Those are the Gentiles. And I grew up thinking I was a Gentile. But if you read in Genesis, I think it's Genesis 10, you'll see that those are the Gentiles. And then the Hamites, those were So the Canaanites ended up being enemies, but the Hamites was okay. Like the Egyptians, that's what they call Kemetic. So you have Shemitic people, and then you have Kemetic people. They come from Ham, and
It's a hard pronunciation on that H. So when
Yeah.
in English it sounds like the letter K.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. And so that's where you have Libya, you have Morocco, Libya, Egypt. I can't think of all the names.
Yeah, that area.
Northern Africa, that all that stuff there,
Yeah. Well,
and maybe even some of the Sicilians may have been Hamites. I don't know, or mixed with it. Europe, all that Europe area, that's Russia, all that. That's Japheth.
yeah, if you look up the lineage of Japheth, what you guys will find is his sons, the names of his sons and his grandsons. And then it'll tell you that these people were the Isles of the Gentiles. And then you find out those names are referring to a specific group. So it's,
Yes.
Yeah.
Then one more thing happened inside. Two more things. Abraham, who's a Shemite, had two sons. One of the sons, the firstborn, was to be a great nation. So boom, that's another break off. So you had Noah and a break off with his 3 sons. Now you're going to have a break off here with Abraham and his first son. Go be a great nation. Then you'll have the second son, which is Isaac. And so Isaac, now you're still going down, but Isaac has a break off when he has his sons, Jacob and Esau, right, Jeff?
Yep.
Because his wife, Rebecca, was told that there's 2 nations in your womb. And one will be stronger than the other. So there's another break off. But these are true enemies even to this day. And it has a lot to do with birthright. One of them is very hidden, the other one is lost.
Yeah.
Or blind. So one of them is invisible, the other one is blind.
Yeah. That's kind of like yin and yang right there, ain't it?
Absolutely. But they are very much enemies. And they've been fighting this entire time.
Yeah. Can I point something out real quick with that break off?
Yes,
I don't want you to. So what you see, what you'll notice is you have 2 people that come from the same mother and father. They were in the same womb, and yet they were separate nations.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so what this shows you is that people that are connected, literally through ancestry, can still be a separate groups of people. They can still end up at separate groups of people. And so, and then that can work the other way around too. We see similar stories as well, where 2 separate people can work as one. And so I just want to put that out there. It's without understanding that it becomes much easier to confuse. If you don't understand this, it's much easier to lose your way over time as who you are as a people, right?
Very
because
true.
you don't know that 2 nations can come from one lineage. So you see, it also kind of discredits the idea of race, the idea that because they're technically the same race, they're brothers, they're twins, they were born together.
Twins. Yeah.
And so how could they be separate? Well, they were 2 separate nations, and then historically you see that they were 2 separate nations, entirely 2 separate groups of people.
Yes.
Looked nothing alike. As the story goes. And so it's a good example of how easy it is to be separated and how, there's more to it than just what's on the surface.
Absolutely.
Or what the lineage says to a separation of peoples. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. What does God want? God wants his will to be done. Part of his will has to do with some of the stuff we're talking about, the way that things were separated. It ends up boiling down to Jacob. Jacob has 12 sons. The separation doesn't happen with them. You just keep them together. even though there are 12 tribes and so on and so forth. But that was the idea, is to get Jacob. Jacob has a special, very special son, and only special because who's to come from that son, which is Judah. His favorite was not Judah. His favorite was Joseph. All right. Okay.
It's cool. We also got treated the worst, but whatever.
But God had plans with Judah. Judah is a son of Israel's first wife. So you could just see like there's a lot that he wanted to do because Leah, which is Jacob's first wife, was overlooked a lot, but she didn't do anything wrong. So anyhow, through Judah is where we get King David, and the son of David is the Christ. And so all that had to happen. Very important. Now, with all this separation, the Most High God does want to break down barriers. So right now, the Hispanic community, so-called Hispanic community, so-called Latino community, is being, it's like tug of war on them.
Yeah.
The gay community wants them to stand up for them. The black community wants them to stand up for them. The white community wants them to come over there. So, especially politically, brother. Golly, man.
Yeah. We don't really count politically. We kind of represent just the numbers. Like
That's it, right?
whoever wins the Hispanic community over gets a ton of votes. And so it's kind of like, that's nobody really cares what it is so-called Hispanic Americans actually want.
Yeah.
We're not even in the conversation most of the time.
Yeah.
It's typically black and white.
Yeah. So what does the Most High want? He wants us to be able to pull back together, but you gotta be like him. That's the only requirement. As long as you're like him, then yeah. Who else? Doesn't matter if you're 6'8". Are you like me? Okay, come on. If you are from Far East, the Far East, Asia, are you like me? Yes, I am. Okay, come on. Oh, you're a Hebrew by blood. You can trace your lineage all the way back to Abraham. Are you like me? No. Then no. Are you like me? Is your son like me? Yes. Okay, well, he can come. At the end of the day, that's what it's going to boil down to. So I know that there's a lot of, you go back to the Hebrew Israelites that are on the streets and that are yelling and saying that only the so-called black people can be saved. Some people are saying that. Some will even say only the so-called blacks, Native Americans, Hispanic, Latinos can be saved. Well, they're only thinking about the Americas, Jeff. What about
the whole other part of the world?
they're only thinking about North and South America, and I don't even hear them say anything about Canada, brother. What about the Canadians, man?
What about Iberian Peninsula? What about those guys?
So they're not finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the scriptures tell us what happened after Christ left. Salvation was offered to the world, man. So,
Oh, my brother. Oh, Ro, what's up, brother? He says, "Amen." Jeff, you're Puerto Rico, brother.
What's up, brother? How's it going, man? Wepa. Nah.
What's up, brother? So now what, Jeff? Okay, so all right, with Hebrews, okay, because I see that even now some people can't really fight against it because they're not educated enough to really. Excuse me, not so much educated. I have hiccups. Not so much that they're not educated, but they just don't have the information to fight back against it. So like, okay, so we're Hebrews. So what? Now what? And That's called unbelief. And then I didn't say I didn't believe. I'm just like, so what? So what? What does it matter? That is unbelief.
It is, yeah. In military terms, it would have been called defeatism.
Defeatism.
Whatever shall we do?
Yeah. Can you tell us now what, Jeff? You got something prepared?
I can, yeah. It's yeah, I got you. Pull it up right now. So the now what, you actually find it in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, this is the Lord speaking, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
That's now what?
That's not what.
We have to, since we know we're called by his name, we have to humble ourselves. Tell us the order, brother. What do we have to do first?
Yep. The first thing you have to do is humble yourself.
Okay.
And then pray. And that's separate. And pray, comma, and seek my face, comma,
Okay.
and turn from the wicked ways, comma, then I will hear from heaven. And so you have to pray before you're even being heard. You have to humble yourself before you're even being noticed. You have to repent before you're even known. You do all those things. And also seek the face. Seek the face of the Lord and he doesn't want you to find him. Doesn't really. Because you need to do all these things first. If you do all these things, then he'll hear from heaven. And a combination of that, hearing you, he'll forgive your sin and also heal your land.
This is good. How do we humble ourselves as a people? Let me ask this.
Okay.
Have you seen the sheep that are walking in circles?
I have, yeah.
They've been doing it for the last 10, 15 days, whatever.
No.
Just walking in circles. How humble do you have to be to walk in a circle? Tell me.
Oh, completely. You have to become subjected to humility. That is
Right.
humiliation at its finest, brother.
Right. If we can't get along, brother, are we humble?
No. Nope. If you feel some kind of way about stuff, then you're not humble.
Okay. But if we all come together and say, listen, here we are. Who are we? We're nothing. There's no reason for me to think that you can't tell me what to do. I have no reason whatsoever. Who am I? And then the other person say, man, I was thinking the same thing, man. I was just talking all that stuff, man. I don't really believe all that I was saying.
I feel some kind of way, but honestly, I don't even matter. It doesn't even matter how I feel.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Who cares? I'm just here.
Yeah, if we stop making ourselves seem important by talking a certain way and appearing a certain way on our social media to outside people. But you know how interesting it is to me when I see people in real life as opposed to their social media, when I see the way that their family treats them or talks to them. I say, hey, who are they talking to? I thought you were this person.
Yeah.
On social media. Why are you wearing those shorts right there when you don't dress like that?
Hey, I saw those tennis shoes at the mall. You're not that big of a deal.
Right? Yeah. It's so interesting to see that, brother. You know, me on social media, I have my shirt off all the time at home. All right, Jeff?
Okay. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
All right. And it's better like that, brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to seem any bigger than I am. I'm not for that. I'm not okay with that. It's not comfortable. How can you get comfortable?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Not that I don't want to put my best foot forward. I'm not saying, of course you want, but why would I want to appear, just have the appearance of somebody that's that could be a dean at a college?
Yeah.
What I'm not,
Nah,
man.
I get it, man. I get it. Like it's like, yeah, like flashy stuff. It's like, look, man, the stuff you present to the world should be representing you.
There you go.
And if that's like a flashy, I know guys that need to wear flashy necklaces. It represents them, man, because I know them and I know that that's their personality, man.
Yeah.
If they were a piece of jewelry, it would be a flashy necklace. I know guys, if they were a piece of jewelry, it'd be a Casio watch. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff you give to the world, show the world, should represent you, whatever that may be. But if it doesn't represent you, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Absolutely. So that's how we humble ourselves. We just say, "Oh man, we're not actually that important individually. We're more important collectively." That's a good way to humble ourselves. Because most people aren't going to say, "Nah, God, get out of here. We're not trying to hear you." That's not the kind of humbling that we need to do. Not most of us. There's some of us that are just hurt by God. It's not like they really feel like they can challenge God, because they're just hurt and they don't have any answers, because he's not talking to us. It's not. So we humble ourselves. All right, what's the other one after we humble ourselves? Pray.
Yeah.
Pray. So now how do we pray? If you ever looked at the prayers that Christ did, most of them were short. He had one long prayer.
Yeah.
The rest of them were all short prayers. So it's not like, we got to go to class and go to some kind of seminary school to figure out what kind of way to pray. Brother, I picked up a new way to pray for my food.
Okay.
If you have time, I'd love to share it with you.
Yeah, we got time. Let's do it.
All right. So it's a revision from what I usually would say.
Okay.
And so it just goes a little something like this. I'll say,
let me write this down. That way I have it. All
right. So I'll just say something like, Father, thank you for this food.
Yes. Continue.
That's it, brother.
Oh, you still? That's it, huh? Thank you for this food.
That's it. That's the new way I pray. I pray for my food, because I thought about it, brother. It says when he took the bread, he gave thanks.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah. Yeah.
I've caught myself saying, I just want to thank you for this food. I pray that you bless the hands that prepared it, and thank you for
I've heard you say that at least 7,000 times, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for providing. I pray it will nourish our bodies and give us strength. Stop. What are you talking about, man?
You're about to eat a cheeseburger. It's not going to nourish your body.
just thank God that you have nourishment and keep it pushing.
That's it. Yeah.
So prayer in general, God knows everything. He knows everything.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can word a prayer so eloquently that he's going to say, you know what? I was going to, because at first I knew what you were going to say, but at first I was like, nah. But the way you put it right there, like how you just work that in, all right, I got you. Nah.
I will look right past your pride. Just because you said that word. Nice word.
No. Just say it. Just whatever it is. Just whatever it is. Father, here's this thing. Of course, you are a mighty God. Those things are important. You're a mighty God. You're an awesome God. Now, the reason I've come before your throne is because of this thing. I pray that you hear me. If I could wrestle with you like Jacob, I would. I don't want to go home until you hear my prayer. That's the best way to pray, with faith and thanksgiving, and tell him thanks.
Yeah,
Father. So if we humble ourselves, that's pretty easy. If we pray, seems simple enough. And then what?
Seek my face.
Ooh.
Surely this means something else.
God is invisible, but his face is turned away from us. You know what seek means? And this is we talked about this, Jeff, but seek is a continuous action.
Right.
You can't say, but I sought you.
Yeah, right before I sat down, I was seeking you.
Yeah.
I was seeking for you, and then I sat down.
Yeah, but you told us to seek you. I did that yesterday.
I did that yesterday. Yeah. Duh. Yeah.
Now to seek is a continuous thing. God, I want to find you. And I'm not going to stop until I find you. I know what it feels like. I've read your scriptures. I know what it's going to look like when you turn your face towards us. I seek your face, Father, and do everything that you can to get them to turn. You know, brother, you have a child, you know.
Yeah.
If she started singing a song that you sang to her when she was 2, and she sang it in a beautiful voice, if your face was turned away from her, what would it do then?
It would turn towards her, brother. Yes, sir. If I was away from her in another room, brother, my face would pop into her room.
That's right. That's right. So, seeking God's face. You know, this is all of us. This is all of us. You know, 1 or 2 people on here might say, "Oh, well, I already do all that." So, yeah, but what about the rest of us? We all got to do it. Now, I don't mean all 80, 90 million of us. I'm saying, it's probably like 90 to 100 million Israelites in America, maybe more, could be more. But
maybe at least 10% of us, maybe.
Well, it'll be more than that. There's 300 to 400 million people in America. This is the reason why they don't want us to be together, because 13% of the American population is so-called blacks. All right, that's at 40 million people. I know that the population for the Hispanic Latino community is around 16, 17%. So you add the 13 plus the 17, brother. I mean, that's 30%.
Yeah, but there's got to be like a 10% margin of error on the Hispanic Latinos. There has to be, brother.
Why do you say that? Up or down?
Up. Gotta be.
So there's got to be more than 17?
It's got to be, brother. I mean, there's no way they can, whatever number they say, there has to be a margin of error of.
It's not an error. I actually agree with you. I do not believe whatsoever that there's only 13% African Americans, because there's nowhere you can go in America, brother, and there's black people everywhere. What are they talking about? Why y'all lying to me?
Everywhere.
There's
brother,
black people everywhere.
Brother, how does an entire music industry sell billions of records? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, they sell it to white people too. But the places that you go, where there's not a lot of black people, like Nebraska and stuff like that, there's also not a lot of white people there either. It's not like
not a lot of people.
It's not.
It's 500,000 people in Idaho.
Right. So you're not going to see a whole bunch of black people there, but according to the population, there's not a whole lot of white people there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people there. That's not somewhere a lot of people want to be. So, but all the biggest cities, brother, LA County, what are you talking about?
It cannot be 13%.
What are y'all talking about?
It's got
LA County?
Yeah.
New York City? What are y'all talking about?
There's no way, brother.
Chicago?
Whoever wrote that, whoever said that stat might live in Idaho, but maybe there's 13% in Idaho.
Yeah, it probably has to be.
Maybe.
But yeah, we're everywhere. We're everywhere, and so I know that that's a lie, and they have to lie like that. They have to because they don't want us to be together. Our number is actually supposed to be together. Is what I'm trying to say. We're supposed to be at around 50% of the American population, so we should be right around 150 million.
Gotcha.
All Israelites. And there's a scripture that says that he made the bounds or the number of people according to Israel. So whatever Israel is going to be, that's how much other people are going to be. That's it.
Yeah.
Let me find that, brother, because that's a pretty serious thing to say, and I have to be able to tell y'all that I'm not joking.
So it's like equal parts, is what you're saying?
That's
Like
what I
in the
took
world?
from it.
I got you.
I'm reading to you, see what you think. Number. What's the next step, though? After we seek His face.
Oh yeah, let me. And then turn from their wicked ways. That's the last step.
And turn from their wicked ways. What are some wicked ways? Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things.
What's one of them?
Start.
What's one of them? Men putting another man's phallus in his mouth.
Yes, that's a wicked way. Yeah.
Stealing. A man stealing from another man.
Yes.
Yeah. A man
bearing false witness.
Bearing false witness. A man sleeping with another man's wife.
Yep, that's wicked. Man committing violence on another man. Murder. Not just committing violence, but murder.
Okay. A man selling out his own friend. That kind of stuff. There's people that from the same place. Brothers, actually.
That's wickedness. Yep.
All right, I'll tell you, I found it. So it's in Deuteronomy 32, chapter 32. I'll read verse 7 and 8. It says, might as well do 9 too. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. I'm not telling you. I told you I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up, brother. Matter of fact, man, I'm going to start going and letting them know y'all are lying. Whatever number you say that y'all have, that's how many of us there is. So stop lying.
Yeah. Because the whole thing is like to make it seem like we're not that big of a deal.
Yes, sir.
And it turns out that we are kind of a big deal. And because we think we're a big deal when we're not actually living like a big deal, we need to fix that. Because that's what essentially pride is, thinking more of yourself than you should. And if you're not in good graces and you act as though you are, you shouldn't be acting that way. Right?
I would say.
So that's a good thing to point out, man.